Can you remember the first time you drove through these gates as a player?
Do you know what? No. In truth, because I've been kind of coming here since I was a little kid. I think probably it would have been 2012 at some point. I actually think the first time I came here was playing for the Scarlets against Gloucester in a friendly. So that was my first experience playing on the field as such. So yeah, some time ago that was.
I remember you telling a story about you were carrying an obscene amount of fridges up
Yeah.
many flights of stairs. Did you ever imagine at that point that career would change so drastically and you'd spend 11 years playing rugby at your hometown club?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's what dreams are made of, really. I was a plumber in a plumber in Bristol. Carrying boilers up the stairs because the lift was broken, and just those days kind of felt as if the dream had almost gone. Really, I was getting to the point that I was a lot older, and all the lads that I'd seen go forward that I'd played with age grade wise, they were in the academies or they were pushing on into sort of senior teams, and kind of felt as if I'd perhaps missed the boat with that one. But fortunately, that wasn't the case.
When you got wind of Gloucester interest that first time, that must have been pretty special.
Yeah, it was a real buzz. Obviously, being local, it's my home club, a club that I supported since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Very, very special, and the opportunity to come back was, it was a no-brainer. I get to come home and represent my club, so yeah, it was awesome.
You never left after that until obviously your recent retirement.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a fantastic club, and it's got great pride having played here for the last decade or so. Obviously, when I was growing up and into my teens, obviously watching the likes of Hazy playing, I'm fortunate enough to share the dressing room with him as well. But family, friends, and going to like things like his testimonial year and whatnot, and just thinking that was pretty cool. Yeah.
You must have played with a huge amount of players over the last 11 years.
Yeah.
Can you pinpoint any that kind of really stand out as, I don't know, maybe the best players you played with, or the best guys around the changing rooms? You must have had some pretty good experiences.
There's so many, so many good guys, and that's really the nice thing about being in a team sport and like rugby. Like, you just get to work with and be a part of such a cool group of people, and I don't think there's ever been a bad time where you're thinking like, oh, this changing room's rubbish. You know, it's never like that. Everyone's always bouncing. Everyone's vibing off of each other, and that's really the life and soul of it for players. You know, you get to do what you love and actually make some great friendships, and that's just like a really, really fortunate thing, and very lucky to have done that.
And obviously, you're a rugby family in the sense of your teammates and fans and supporters, but also your own family's grown over the last 11 years as well, so it must be pretty special to have shared the memories with them. Obviously, you took your kids out and your wife on one of your last games as well. Yeah,
that was really special to be able to do that. Obviously, like you say, start of the journey is just myself and my wife, and we finished it with 4 kids, and particularly for this the cohort of players that I've been involved with, everyone has had probably like 2, 3, 4 children, so when everyone gets together, it's a bit of a mass of kids and whatnot running around everywhere. So it's good fun.
Life's going to change, but you've been preparing for that really over the last few years and setting up your own business. And what does life look like right now for Ben Morgan?
So obviously, preparation-wise, I've been preparing this for probably the last 6 or 7 years. Started the business then with a view to kind of looking after myself for life after rugby. Now, I was fortunate enough to be able to call time on my own terms, rather than it be injury. But the big catalyst for me was in 2015 when I had the spiral fracture dislocation of my ankle, and that was a scary time because rugby can kind of be in a bit of a bubble, feel like you're invincible and everything's going well, and kind of my bubble burst very abruptly on January the 10th. It was a massive wake-up call to go, look, you've got to prepare things for afterwards. And actually at the end of that year, my son was born as well, so I had my first little one, my dependent, come in, and he's wanting to provide and look after him. And yeah, that was a massive catalyst.
So a lot of your career, you would be handed a schedule on a Sunday and told what to follow. It's quite difficult to transition out something like that. So will you almost look to recreate a weekly schedule for life after rugby?
Yeah, absolutely. I think having some process and is really important, and obviously it's a different role for me because ultimately I can govern my own hours, but I'm running a scaffold business with nearly 30 lads that we need to make sure that things are running smoothly and things are running as they should. So yeah, I'll certainly be based in the office, but things like site visits to go and look at the scaffold as we are now is a vital part of it, just to make sure we're getting everything that we need.
So let's talk testimonial then. You've got so many events coming up, but let's start with the sevens, because that's pretty soon and set to be a pretty good day for the community.
Yeah. So the sevens is on the 17th, and it's going to be really good fun actually. It's trying to make it that sort of sevens vibe, family fun, bouncy castles, face painting, some activities and games and stuff. And then it's 12 local Gloucestershire teams in the competition. I think a big thing for me was I've been real lucky to have played on the pitch for the last decade. I know how special that is, and not many people get to do that. So to actually be able to put a sort of club sevens on gives the best part of sort of 120 odd people the opportunity to play at Kingsholm and have their family come and watch them and whatnot. So I thought that would be a cool thing to do, and hopefully it's well received. We've had really good take up from the clubs. That's on the 17th of June, and then we go into the Three Peaks, which is at the end of the month. So there's 24 participants, but 28 in total, including support staff, which again is going to be really good fun, bit of a challenge, but also it's just trying to again sort of raise awareness and funds and whatnot for the charities, and both charities are hugely important. And I shared a changing room with Ed and Jake changed next to me, and obviously it was an absolute tragedy what happened with his brother. So it was a really easy decision to choose those two to support through the testimonial year.
And other events like the Dursley dinner.
Yeah, so
hometown.
Yeah, so that's a special one for me. It's obviously my home club where my love of rugby was nurtured, and I've got such fond memories down there. So to have the club have us there for a dinner is awesome, and I'm really looking forward to that one, to catch up with old friends and just have a really good night, because the club is very special to me. Like I said, it's where everything started.
It's clear to see that at the heart of what you're trying to do, your testimonial, is getting the community involved, and that's kind of been the core aim of your testimonial. And especially in a place like Gloucestershire, community clubs really are the heartbeat of this city and county.
That's what makes Gloucester. Like there is no big football team here. It's about, this is a rugby county, and everyone lives and breathes and works for the weekend to come and watch Gloucester play. And it is a working man's town. You know, we're a town full of tradespeople who go and play rugby at the weekend at the local clubs, and they all support, they sponsor their clubs, they want to come and aspire to play for Gloucester and want to come to watch Gloucester at the weekend. And yeah, without all those guys and families and people that are supporting, you don't really have the Kingsholm faithful. You don't have the atmosphere.
It feels like you're really happy with coming to terms with changing career and moving on into the next stage.
I feel like it's been a bit of a fairy tale end for me. haven't just kind of disappeared or anything like that. It's I've got to play out the career, play out my time at the club. I've enjoyed my time over the last 11 years, and I've always been aware that rugby is never going to last forever, and also the time being right was now for me. My scaffold business and my other businesses were at the point that also A, they can look after me going forward, but B, they actually need me to go forward. So it was important to kind of pick the right moment that actually I feel very blessed to have had the career I've had in rugby, and equally I'm looking forward to trying to forge a career in business.
Let's finish on your relationship with the fans over the last 11 years, because they're a pretty special set of fans, and I'm sure you have a huge amount of gratitude to them.
Yeah, absolutely. The Gloucester fans are pretty hardcore, aren't they? They certainly let you know when it's going well, and equally let you know when it isn't. But no, they make the place special. I kind of alluded to it earlier that kind of without the supporters, it's just any other rugby ground, and they really make it. They give it the atmosphere. They make it intimidating for opposition. They make it welcoming for players. Any new player that comes in, like the Gloucester fans, are straight on there welcoming them in, and that just credit to everyone who's involved and everyone who supports this club. They've certainly been unbelievable for me, and very welcoming when we came up from the Scarlets, and yeah, it's obviously a good chunk of them are my family as well, so I certainly get to know when things aren't going too well. But no, it's been really special, and yeah, it's just a thank you from me, really. Everyone's been brilliant, and yeah, it's made my time here really enjoyable.
I'll finish this journey by us saying thank you to you, I guess, as well for your service to the club and everything you've given on and off the field. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, mate.